Today we are installing our first modification for my 2024 Silverado 1500 Trail Boss. Let's get to it. Today's video is brought to you by Lethal Garage Synthetics. If you guys didn't know, I've been an AMSOIL dealer for over 6 years and personally run AMSOIL products in my car, from engine oil, trans fluid, rear gear, brake fluid, etc. Have it all, even their coolant. And if you guys are looking to change your oil or change any of the fluids in your car and want to look for the best product available, hit the link down below in the description. You can sign up as a preferred customer, save 25% off on all of your orders, and on top of that, you can get free shipping. So check it out, hit the link below, and let's get to the video. What's going on, guys? Matt over here with Lethal Garage, and today I'm bringing you my first install guide for my 2024 Silverado. Mini mods, so many things to do. You get a brand new truck and the first thing you want to do is mess with it. Now there's some of you out there that don't. You want to keep your warranty potentially on performance modifications or your suspension warranty. I don't know how it's all classified depending on the dealer you purchase your vehicle from, or if you even purchased an aftermarket, technically like warranty extension that covers aftermarket parts. Like that's a thing these days. Like a while ago, that was not a thing. Nowadays, like you can purchase it. So with this truck, when I purchased it, I did add on the platinum package. I got a really good rate on it. Paradise always seems to give me good deals, good rates, so that's exciting. But it covers aftermarket parts, aftermarket wheels. Like if I get a dent, scratch, ding, or whatever, I can go straight down to the dealership and that insurance covers it. Awesome. So all that being stated, today we're going to install the first modification, and it's because, one, if I bought it through the dealer, it was going to be really expensive, and two, there's a ton of options out there beyond the dealer. And honestly, the dealer, I think in some cases white labels products that are actually already on the market, and in some cases they make their own. But overall, bed cover. So I don't have one. This truck came with the bed liner, which is awesome, but I don't have the cover. And so today I'm going to show you what I picked up. And apologies, the camera might be a little bit shaky. I'm trying a new camera mount, trying a new microphone, so you can kind of see it right here. Yeah. So I don't know how this audio is going to come through. Hopefully it's good, but the ultimate goal is to have a less shaky me holding camera experience. So comment below if you like this format or the audio or whatever. So all that being stated, I ended up researching a lot of bed covers. And if you guys have been following the channel for any length of time, you know I used to have a 2018 Dodge Ram 1500. I ended up going on Amazon and purchased the cheapest, floppiest fake leather, vinyl, whatever it was, cover that actually lasted a while. You can Google it on my, or not Google it, but search for it in YouTube. You can type in tiger cover. It was a great cover. Now, the downsides of that cover, and the reason why I'm not going with that cover again, and it's, call it pettiness or laziness, but if I wanted to take it off the truck, I had to literally undo the whole thing and take it off the truck and then store it somewhere in the house. And I didn't really like that. There was times where I had to drive down and pick up stuff like my hood for my 6th generation Camaro. I drove down with my truck and forgot I had the cover on, and I had to take it off and put it in the back seat of my truck, which it didn't really fit very well to then fit the hood and the bed of it. I didn't like the process. I wanted to be able to have something that would allow me to have full access to the bed without having to rip it off the truck. Now, there's quite a few options for that. You can get those like roll up ones that, you know, you're just like click, click, and it just rolls up and it's gone. There's the ones that fold up and prop up and then can be really propped. And I kind of went down, I eliminated the roll up ones because, one, they're really expensive. Two, I wanted a solid cover. I know a lot of friends that have trucks that have solid covers. I really like the way they look. Yes, they're a little bit heavier, but they sit flush with the bed of the truck. They look nice. And so I ended up settling on a rough country product, and I ended up getting their low profile hard shell that allows you to basically fold it all up, and then it leans up. Well, it doesn't lean on the truck, but it folds straight up, and then it has little stanchion bars that hold it in place so the wind's not going to blow it over and you can have full access to your bed. So that's what I got. That's enough talking. So first and foremost, let me know in the comments below, do you guys have tonneau covers? Do you have hard covers? Do you have the roll-up covers? Like, which one did you choose? Which one do you like? I'm going to respond to all of your guys' comments, and you know, if you have an additional question or etc., make sure to comment below. But let me know what you guys got, and I'm going to go grab this thing. It's kind of heavy, so if you purchase this same product or you're interested in it, I'm a big guy, I'm 6'5". I like to think I'm decently like strong, so I can lift it up and bring it out, but I'm gonna go grab it. We're gonna open it up and do that install today. So let's get to it. Okay, so didn't really struggle to bring it out here, but it's pretty heavy. You know, I thought there would be a weight on there somewhere. Does it show 2-man lift? It doesn't show 2-man lift, but it's easily in like, I don't know, 90 pounds, 100 pounds, maybe. So at this point, I'm just gonna, it says not to use a knife. How are you supposed to open the box? I'm gonna use a knife. I'm gonna open the box. We're gonna get this thing out of there. There's quite a few parts and pieces. I believe there should be a seal, the main seal against the back of the truck, the rails, the drain lines that will, I don't know where they're gonna go. It looks like mine are, yeah, my truck's got a whole bunch of rubber pieces, so either I'm gonna have to drill a hole and put a grommet, or I'll figure that out. And the actual cover itself. So let's see how this thing, if it survives shipment. Okay, so from the initial look, they actually did a really good job packaging this up. It's really well supported, has all the pieces that kind of outlined on the site. I didn't see an install guide for this specific one on the Chevy listing, so I'm sure it's common throughout this, or they probably have like a generic video that covers them all. Just whoever does their website didn't link it, but it's folded up in this instance, and yeah, just gonna slide this here, lean it up against the house, because we don't need that part just yet. Okay, so just as I thought, the little tubes. So this thing is weatherproof, but it could still get water in the tracks. So these are the tracks fully assembled. They're all wrapped up, so we'll have to get those out of the wrapping. But you can get water in the tracks, so they have these little tubes, and let's see if I can actually find it. Oh, they're marked left and right, so that's good. So right here, there's an actual drain port that this tube is going to plug into, and then you route this through one of the hole openings in your bed, so that way it just drains out onto the ground and it doesn't leak into the bed of your truck. So that's pretty cool. I'm not quite sure how the water gets in there, but I guess if it does, you don't have to worry about it. This is the left side, this is the right side, so that's good. I got left and right. And then there's a hardware pack. What do I do with my knife? It's in my pocket. And they did say all the hardware is assembled. That's a lie. I mean, it's hardware. So you got all the clamps. So you have to assemble the clamp assemblies that basically hold the rails to the bedside of your truck. So in fairness, in the video, they did say no loose pieces in the box. These pieces aren't necessarily loose. They were in their own box. But they kind of said no assembly required. There's assembly required. You have to put the tracks on. So in that regard, you don't have to assemble the tracks. Like some of the other ones, you have to like slide all the pieces on the tracks, and yeah, I think you just slide these ones on. That's it. So the first act of torture is taking everything out of its plastic wrap. And then from there, I'm starting to assemble the bedside clamps and setup. So it's pretty straightforward. There's the clamp with like the grippy pieces. This is going on the inside, the underside of the bed. So if you think of this being the side of your truck, this is going underneath and squeezing on that ledge. And this is in the inside of your bed with the flush side of the bolt bolting into that. So there's a couple adjustments here. So there's the initial adjustment clamping force, and then there's the adjustment that pushes the clamps up and down, which is done from here. So I have to assemble 6 of these. So yeah. The initial thing they want you to do is, once you unwrap the rails, is you got to slide them all the way forward so it's butting up against the bulkhead of the bed. It just kind of sits right on there. Pretty straightforward. Do that on both sides. So now that we have the clamps assembled and we have this rail in place, they want us to slide these clamps in position. So they kind of just slide, and of course my strap is in the way. They should just slide right in. So in the picture that shows that this one slides over to the side, but as you can see, that looks like this is gonna block my little hook right here. I don't know if I like that. So I don't know if it's against the rules, but I'm gonna stick it on that side so I retain my position there. And of course, I threaded this one in slightly too much. There we go. Put that in there. Note to self, when you're threading this bolt in, just barely get it. Just barely start it. Sweet, clamps in place. Rinse and repeat other side. So now that the clamps are in position, that they do ask you to install it as close to the end as possible. But again, this clamp here is going to eliminate the use of this hook right here, and I don't want to lose that hook. So I'm not going to obviously install it where their cutout is so you can slide the clamp in, but they want you to tighten the bottom. That's going to lock the rail in place. Perfect. Just get this one in place. And hopefully my camera is just. So this back one too is blocking this hook. This one's not as bad. Maybe that one wouldn't be as bad either. So they want you to do the middle and that front one first, and then you come up to the back one. I mean, I guess it will be fine. Let's see. You guys win, bro. Country. Let's see if this just clears. You'd think they would do like a lower profile one. It kind of blocks it. So you can see. This specific model truck, I don't know if you have this on your trucks. Comment below if you have a 23 or older, but you know, if I wanted to put a hook here, it's gonna push on it. I guess you can go around it, but even still, it's pushing on it. I don't like that. I think the rear one I'm good, but this one, I do not like that. Personal preference, I guess. Okay, I personally wanted to get the rails in position before I put the bulkhead seal in place. They said this is going to be too long and you're going to have to trim to fit, but mine is exact fit. So yours may be longer or shorter, but that's how mine is. Oh, come on. Yes. Okay. Freaking dumb. This is kind of like the, you got one chance. Stuff's really tall. There we go. Stick, 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 stick. Stick, 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 stick. Stick. And now you got these drain ports here I mentioned earlier. They should drain into here. I had little rubber caps like that one in place. So just pull that out and put these drain tubes in. Feed it into the side of your truck. You obviously don't want the tube kinked, but how am I going to do that? It's kind of kinking. It's kind of kinking here, rough country. And I don't even know. I'm going to have to crawl into the truck and see if that's not kinked inside of there. It might just be a water holder. So as mentioned earlier, my foam was exact cut. So I got it all the way across. It doesn't go underneath this rubber trim piece. This rubber trim piece actually had some stickiness to it, but it's supposed to stick. But check this out. There is an open gap here between this rubber and this into my bed. Now, I haven't put the actual cover on. I think it has a piece that goes over this, so it should be okay. But I just want to highlight in this part of the video, from what I'm seeing, I could see daylight through that crack. Same on the other side. But outside of that, everything is kind of mounted. Now I need to go through and use the provided Allen key and tighten all the bolts on the clamps that are going this way. Okay, so I lifted this up into my truck solo. It is possible. And it does have, let me bring the camera around here. So I was kind of highlighting that open hole right in this area, but this does have a weather seal that you have to pull out and let flop over. And I believe, pretty sure that will cover it. So we'll find out here in just a second. So that looks pretty nice. Now, I think the last step is getting the bolts in for the front, and that's gonna smash this down. Now, it doesn't look like that corner is gonna be 100% covered from the elements. I need to go check that side and make sure I'm lined up. But the thing's in the rails, so it has to be lined up right now. And you know, all the little, so like there's like, sorry, it's dark. So like these are little clips on both sides that you have to pull out. I'm gonna have to set the camera down for a second. So you have to pull those little, God, it's so dark, these little handles, and that unlatches it from the truck. Now, once you get past this first fold, definitely gonna need someone, I mean, is there like a latch to hold it? Oh, look at that. Oh, sweet, just saw something cool. So there's, it's one-sided access. So you can squeeze the inside one to unlatch just the right side or both together. Okay, you guys are awesome. So that folds up, right? And then I believe you can push that down. You lock this, well, once it's, I shouldn't have pulled on that. Stop it. I don't have it all the way installed, right? Because I gotta put these bolts on the corner. So yeah, see, you can see the weather stripping only comes right to here. So there is a chance water can get to this area. I don't know if you guys have seen this or if it's just a common known issue with the rough country setups, but that is a thing. Okay, so now we're at the last bit of hardware. All these Allen keys that they give you. So these bolts go in through the top, and then they wing nut, I don't know what, oh, into the bed rail. So they line up with the rail, the bolt goes through the rail, and then the wing nut and the little turnkey. So, okay, so that makes sense. See, learn something new. Learning something new. So yeah, so it's a carriage bolt. We got to get it through the top and line it up with the opening in the rail. And I did see those holes cut out up front, so let's get that going. Okay, so I'm hoping I can actually capture this properly. I ended up having to, I had to slide this whole setup back like 1/4 inch to allow me to get to where that carriage bolt needs to go. And when I did that, I lifted this up and that stupid weather stripping folded under, but you kind of have to get your finger in here because that stripping is, oh God, it's right. The rubber on the rail is just in the way, but you can force it in and get it right in the hole. But now I got to pull this rubber piece out from underneath the whole thing, so I'm gonna have to do that from in the bed. Nice thing is once you get kind of started, you can just pull it out. And then just tuck that in right there. Now let's go underneath and see if those went into the right spot. Did we get it? Yes. Right in spot. This camera is supposed to do good in dark. Too dark. But the bolt did make it through. There's 2 cutouts here. I don't know why the Ford one's there. Maybe it's for a different model. I'm sure they reuse these rails across multiple different vehicles. But the bolt comes through. You basically thread this, I don't know what you call these, thumb screws. I think these are like the safety clamps that you're supposed to clamp to something, probably right there. They weren't wrapped in foam like the other one was. So one was foam, the other one wasn't. So, I don't know. Can you guys see the daylight right there? Yeah, you could see it. I know it's dark, but there's daylight. I don't think there's supposed to be daylight. Let's see if I can tighten it enough to where there's no more daylight. Not looking like it. I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye on that. See if it ever leaks. Okay, I know I'm adding this in after the fact with my phone camera, but look at that. Just washed my truck, and as I expected, water leaks in. And it wasn't like a drive-through car wash, it was a hand wash. This side did not leak. So that's tight. So now they have the wing nut that goes on here. I don't know if that's like a precautionary thing. Sure, maybe. So that goes on there. They feel plastic. And then there's a cap nut. I'm assuming that's just to make it so you don't catch something on this. Okay, I'm stoked I got this thing done before the sun went down. It actually went pretty quick. But this is literally the first close. So I just closed the tailgate. I want to see how this sits. There's a weather strip right here. Is it going to close? Did I do it right? I think we're weather sealed. I kind of want to, what happens now? Yeah, see that? So that top weather seal kind of, I don't know if that's supposed to fall under. I think it does. Yeah, it's like a double seal. I could be wrong. Where's the thing? I can squeeze that open. Yeah, so it's like a double seal on the back. So there's this seal that stops the water from coming in, and it looks like this is a secondary seal that's supposed to sit potentially on the inside. I got this weird multi-tailgate that probably many of you guys also have. I don't love it, but it came with the truck. I didn't spec it this way. So if I close this, that seal should, yeah. So that seal's behind, that seals up. Looks like the corner is all sealed. And this sits pretty nice. I think I have to get in here and maybe get another couple cranks on these bolts to get this to sit down, because I kind of pushed down on it. Maybe I'll have someone come over and push down while I tighten it this next time, just to get it nice and tight. But it is low profile as they outline. I think it does look really nice. I do worry about these corners. I don't know if this is a known issue. I mean, even if you squish down, like, you can see where the seal is not. And there's no seal right here at the edge of the truck. I could see daylight when I'm in there with everything closed up. So the big thing now is actually, we'll go over the functionality here in a second. So I kind of realized some things and didn't really know it until after the fact, but in this instance, you can open it from one side, which is awesome. So each side has these little, you have a single side latch, and sorry, you can't see, it's dark out. But right here and on the other side, there's a single latch for one side only, or you can get both sides. So I was wondering, like, how are they gonna do this with the foam and keep it from scratching itself and all the other stuff? The only thing that's not protected, and I guess that's what these little rubber pads are for the corner. So when you fold it back, it keeps it lifted just ever so much. But that foam right there is so the lid doesn't vibrate and scratch the living heck out of itself and look like crap down the road. Now, you're supposed to clip this in. Clipped. Let's go to the other side. So this, you can travel with it like this. You can travel with it, with the second one closed, or you can travel with it. And this is why I bought this. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna love it, but that's why I bought it. So you lift it up. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna set my camera right here. So you lift that up, you pull this out, and this locks in, right? So that's supposed to hold it up. Now let's go to this side. That's a giant wall. Air is gonna hit the upper corners, but it's going nowhere. That's pretty cool. So whether or not, I mean, I'm not gonna be driving my truck around like this all the time, but in the instances that I do need to move something big, it's available. Now, it does reduce the depth of your bed by, what is that, 8 inches? So instead of that something big sitting up against the bulkhead of the truck, it's gonna sit up against this, right? So you have to consider that. But for the quick things, like if I'm going racing and I have tall fuel jugs, or I have a jack and I don't want to take the handle off or anything like that, that is now a non-problem. So that's kind of cool. Or if we're at the track and maybe we want to put some seats up there, or drive-in movie, or I don't know. You think of whatever million situations. You open up the bed of your truck for potential anything. Now, to take these off, this is a cool, so these are like your hood props. So normally you would have to get like a flathead screwdriver and pop these out, but they made it really easy, and I can't do it one-handed, unfortunately. I can push up on it, but you basically push up and pull it off, and then store this away. Push up. Maybe my left arm's just weak. Ah, okay, that's a little tight. I struggled, but get this down. Should click in. Oh, I strapped it. Gosh dang you. Okay, this is kind of an annoyance, but gotta unstrap it. I mean, it's all safety, right? So I guess you can't get too angry at that, but just takes a little more time to open her up and close her. Have you guys seen these covers here? I gotta get some covers for that. I got a stake bed. But my biggest gripes have to be the seal up here. You know, on both back corners. Definitely seems like water could get in there. The tubes for the rail draining, they're definitely pinched. I mean, I kind of massaged them a little bit, but they're definitely a little bit pinched. That being stated, opening this up, the single-sided access to open it, that is like breath of fresh air for tonneau covers. Now, remember, I'm coming from really cheap ghetto ones on Amazon, so don't crucify me in the comments if this is like, bro, that's normal. They have them. Install, painless, pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure anybody could do this. A little bit frustrated. You know, they want you at the furthest point with this right here. It does block this hook. Not a big fan of that. Yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna have to report back later on how this drives, if I notice any new noise or any issues or stuff like that. But I think overall the product looks really clean on the truck. I'll go ahead and close it up and kind of step back. You know, everything's been so close. We're losing sunlight, so I apologize. I don't have a lot of time to shoot videos these days, so I gotta squeeze them in, so forgive me. But if we look at the truck from its profile, you almost can't even tell that it's there. So that's cool. This backside sits a little high, and that might sit down a little bit potentially as like the rubber heats up in the sun or whatever. Again, something I'll report back on. You know, I did a long-term review on the Tiger Ghetto one that I got on Amazon 2 years later, showing how it still worked and how the condition of the cover looked and all that stuff. But definitely going to tighten these bolts up here to get this to sit down more. I know that will happen. I just need someone up here to push down while I get that extra crank or two on that bolt. But outside of that, it fits pretty nice, and it's a nice product. So I got to be honest, I wasn't planning on doing a ton of stuff to this truck, and now that I've gone online and looked at a bunch of stuff, I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff to this truck. But the nice thing is like everything I'm looking at, including the wheels, I mean, it's like $5 grand worth of upgrades. Is that a lot? Do you guys consider that a lot of money to put into a truck, especially a 3.0 turbo or a turbo diesel, little baby diesel? There's some cool stuff. I'm really curious to see how it all pans out, how it runs, you know, certain things that you could do to potentially increase efficiency and gas mileage. I did order, if you guys are familiar with Banks Power, the gauges. I don't know. I have an affinity for gauges. You can blame my 6th gen Camaro. I put the, I don't remember the name of them right this moment, but I put gauges in that car, and now I want to see all the data. Like, and then I don't even know, we have not enough miles for the regen. I want to learn about that. And then also ordered a bunch of AMSOIL for this truck. So obviously we're going to do the break-in with the oil from the factory. I'm not going to waste that, but we're going to drain everything from differential to all the coolers and all that stuff. It's all going to get AMSOIL oil replacing it, including the engine. They make great diesel oil. If you guys didn't know, I'm a dealer, as I mentioned probably at the start of this video. And check it out. You know, I run AMSOIL in all my vehicles that are capable or needing of oil, except for this piece of junk. So I live and breathe by it. My 71's got it. You know, my LS7 running Z-Rod, the rear end running the rear gear oil, transmission running the Blue Cap ATF. Same thing with my 6th gen. It's running all AMSOIL front to back. So good stuff. So there's lots of things that I'm reading and looking about and learning about with these diesels. It's kind of interesting. Some of the, like, I want to do drive videos because some of the early things that I ran across were people like, oh, this diesel's not that powerful and blah, 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 blah. And found out that was the old diesel before they upgraded it to the LZO. And I hopped in this bad boy and I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised on how much the torque made this thing feel like it got up and go, especially in 4-wheel high. And yeah, I mean, and I'm coming from, you know, 1,000 horsepower Camaro. Like, I've been in a fast vehicle, so not the fastest, granted, but I definitely know what power and a pull feels like. So pleasantly surprised with this 3.0. Pretty happy. I'm not sad that I didn't get the 6.2, and getting anywhere from 33 to 30 miles a gallon currently on my commute to work. Awesome. That's the primary reason why I got the 3.0 diesel, and it's paying off. So next thing is figuring out towing. Now how that all works, get my trailer hooked up, get it all programmed with the new trailering and all that. So lots of stuff coming. So either or, thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. If this guide was any way helpful for you, and even just me providing my insight or feedback as I installed it and the things that I saw as I installed it, let me know in the comments, because I never know if this kind of content's helpful. Not many people ever comment. They just watch what they need to watch and peace out. So it is what it is. So I do appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. Subscribes are always welcome, and I'm thankful for them. I'd love to see us get to 100,000. I would love to get a play button one day. That's like, it's a weird goal, but it's, you know, I never thought the YouTube channel was going to grow, and now I'm just like, well, maybe we can get to 100,000 subscribers. That'd be awesome. And maybe this truck will now help, along with the 6th gen Camaro, both of my 1970 era Camaros, and new vehicles to come. I really want to get a hands on a 69 Z28, and I'm talking too much. So until next time, guys, I'll see you on the road.